Set up the stream for 5 o'clock, but it just went live on me, so we're just going to go ahead and roll with that. Set up here, guys. Today, we're going to be going through some more 666s, because this is what this channel does. I need a weight to hold my phone in place here. Give me 1 second. That should do it. All right, man. Welcome, everybody. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the Living One. I've been teaching everybody about 666 for a long time. I got a special new selection of 666s. Got me a list here. And so we'll be going deep into 666. And the reason why some of these matter so much is because it all applies to the system that we live in. The system that we live in that I've been teaching about for some time now is a 666 system, and it comes from the Bible. So we must all pay very close attention to these matters, because it's not by coincidence that these things are in place. So what we're going to be starting off with today is AI system. AI system in English gematria is 666. And I might as well start off with Revelations 13:18 Bible Hub, so people understand that this riddle has been solved. Okay, now it's not just one thing, 666. 666 points to damn near every god that exists on this plane of existence, and that is not by coincidence. So we must keep our eyes sharp and our ears open and our minds clear, so that these things can all be exposed of the truth. So the parable plainly calls out, here's a call for wisdom. Okay, wisdom is Sophius or Sophia. Okay, in its insight. It's a skill which is human or divine. Mind you, divine has D-I-V-I in the word, and D-I-V-I means to divide, division, dividend. Okay, and it is intelligence from Sophos, which means wisdom. Okay, who has insight? Let the one who has insight. So probably about 4 years ago, this information came upon me. It was only a year ago, though, that I found the Gematria calculator. And since I found the Gematria calculator, my insight has exploded into the wisdom of this world and what it all means and what's it designed about. So insight, more importantly for people to understand, is the mind. Okay, this is very important to know, the mind. Let's see if I can make that larger for you. Whoa, I can get down on that. Moving back and forth here for you. Gotta move it. There you go. Yeah, cool. Might take a little bit of extra time to make these moves, but I want people to see what it is that I'm sharing with them. And it is, by implication, the mind. Now, mind you that the mind and the brain are not the same. The mind is spiritual, and the brain is flesh. Okay? Beautiful. Now, let's jump into a few of these new words that I've learned. Always keep in mind that any time that 66, when a word comes to 66, and then you add the third six to it because it has to do with mankind. Like mankind was created on the sixth day of creation. And when you add the sum of the word mankind, let's go ahead and do it. So you got to understand that mankind created an AI system. Okay, are we not living in the times of AI today? Absolutely, we are. So it's important to put these messages in order and have wisdom and insight to clear your mind. A lot of people say, you know, can you work with that? I mean, I'm trying to think of the passage or the saying. Open your mind is what they say. Just open your mind. And I'm the opposite. I'm telling you to close your mind. Close your mind to the world. Close your mind to everything you've been taught, everything that you've learned, everything that you think you know. Close your mind to it all, because in order to receive this kind of information, your mind has to be closed to what the world has taught you. Because what I'm teaching you is spiritual information. It's not the wisdom of the world. Okay? So it's very important for everybody to see the AI system comes to 666. Let's see if I can make this a little more angled. Give me a second here. Usually I have this stuff all set up already before I start, but like I said, I wasn't really ready to start. I just wanted to set it up for a 5 o'clock stream. Okay. So you can clearly see that the word AI system is 666. Okay, let's make a few more other connections with that as well. Because what is AI? It's a computer, correct? And what do we have? Computer in gematria is 666. Why is this important? Because this channel here makes connections for you. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, Bible Hub. We're going to pop over here to the King James Bible, which tells us here, lest Satan should get an advantage over us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. The devices are this laptop that I'm staring into. You see, this laptop is a portal to the other side of the world, to darkness. These smartphones are devices to the other side of the world. The television is a device. Why? Because the television does what? What do they call it? They call it programming. Do they not? They call it channels. You have channels which program and do castings and spells that have been placed over the mind. So starting off at AI, we're going to jump over here now into, well, who created the AI? Right? We have all kinds of different people in these technologies, but we're going to go with corporate. Corporate is 666. And in corporate is the word corpse. Corp. Because a corp is a dead body. That's why it's called the corporation. Because they are ghosts. Proven here. The AC J30 130 Ghost Rider. I think that's what it's called. AC 130J Ghost Rider. Okay.
He said he'd protect us. no matter how you look at it.
Huh.
You lied to us. John's lied.
They're all liars, man. You know, this guy's been shoved in my county. John DeWorke has been shoved down our faces here.
In a rare occurrence, an AC-130J Ghost Rider aircraft made contact with an amphibious warship during a sinking exercise. The U.S. Air Force is...
There you go. There is your AC-130J Ghost Rider. Why do you suppose they call it a Ghost Rider? Because I've been telling you that everybody that's on these aircrafts are ghosts. Well, why do I say that? Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 Bible Hub. Because you got to understand, folks, that us have been created in an image. So God, here, this God, very important to understand, is Elohim, plural of gods in the ordinary sense, but used. This is so key for people to understand that this God here is used, specifically used of a supreme God. There is something supreme to this God. Okay, because this God is the God that created man in his own image. So who is it? Well, I've been teaching everybody for some time now that Jesus is a God, correct? Is he not? Jesus, not a God? Tells us, what is Jesus known as? I'm trying to put this all together for you with the gematria, because I had to ask the question. Everything, it takes wisdom, and Jesus is known as the olive tree. An olive tree is 666. Can you believe that? And this is why the parable is calling for wisdom on us, because you got to make the connections. It doesn't openly come straight out and say that Donald J. Trump, for instance, if you remove all of the vowels from Donald J. Trump, and you take the vowels out of his name, Donald J. Trump comes to 666. Now, this should cause quite a great deal of concern, because what? Donald Trump says what? That he's a patriot, right? He's patriotic. And patriotic is 666. My uncle and I, we had a back and forth going the other day on Facebook, and he couldn't handle the truth. He couldn't take the truth about what I'm sharing with you, because this plane of existence is always talking about what? Peace on earth, correct? Well, peace on earth is 666. Why? Because we are humankind. Well, not everything. You got to understand that there's two different types of creations. One creation is made up of dark matter. Dark matter is 666. Well, what is dark matter? Dark matter is the darkness that I've taught you guys about many times. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, Bible Hub. So now the earth was formless and void, and darkness here was on the face of the deep. Let's see. Let's get this out of the way. Now the earth was formless and void, and darkness. Darkness is, hence the darkness, figuratively, misery, destruction, death, ignorance, pain, grief, sorrow, torment, wickedness. So this is after the war takes place in heaven. This is why I argue that Revelations is a book before Genesis, because the book of Genesis or the book of Revelations is written by who? Oh, let's jump over here to Gematria and find out. Now, a lot of people will want to say John the Baptist, which is a prophet. Okay, let's see. Let me jump back here to my notes. And I was pretty sure that that's... Let's see. Oh, okay. Book of John. Book of John is 666. Well, who's the book of John? He wrote Revelations, right? Revelations is a book that's written by a man. Dark man. There we go. Book of John, it comes to 666. So we can't ignore these kinds of things because it's a riddle that must be deciphered. So when you use keywords and catchphrases inside of the Bible, like the book of John is a catchphrase, okay? Jesus is Christos, correct? Christos in Gematria 666. Yeah. And, I've been fighting entities, great deal of entities. The entities that I'm fighting are the entities that are on the other side of this computer, the ones that are ruling the world, the ones that are using these devices as power and control over us. This is why I can't get people into my channel anymore, because I'm blocked. Listen, if a channel, you got to remember, folks, okay, look, only a remnant will receive the kingdom of heaven. That's Romans 9:27. And it tells us that Isaiah cries out concerning Israel. Isaiah, a great prophet. Though the numbers of the Israelite is like the sands of the sea, only a remnant will be saved. Folks, when we go to the word remnant, to leave behind, pass, to be left, surviving, okay? I can't even pronounce that. Hupatricho and Leopo, to leave under and to remain. Hold on. To remain? To remain where? To remain here. To be left behind. Oh, left behind? Oh, boy, look at this. Facebook login. Left behind. They did a movie about being left behind. So who's left behind? What if, folks, as Christians say, the rapture's already taken place? What a horrifying thing that is, huh? And we that are here on this plane of existence are the ones that are left behind. Remember now, we're eternal beings. We don't die in the spirit. We are souls trapped inside of a flesh suit. Ezekiel chapter 31, verse 3, Bible Hub. The flesh suit, folks, is the shade, okay, that shaded the forest. Okay, you guys might think I'm reaching, but I don't reach for anything. I make connections for you all. Because this God that created man in his own image is a phantom, which is to shade. Here we are, to shade, folks. So to be shaded means that we cast shadows today, because we are light beings that have been captured in a material flesh suit, dark matter. Dark matter. The Assyrian is Satan. Satan is the tree of knowledge. The cedar is the tree of knowledge of good and evil, with beautiful branches that shaded the forest. It towered on high, its tops among the clouds over here. When we jump into the King James Bible, it says, "Behold, the Assyrian, Satan, was a tree of knowledge of good and evil, with white skin and a skin suit, a shadowing shroud." We cast shadows now, and the shroud is the skin suit. And of high stature, because everybody on this plane of existence worships the beast more than the creator. For they worship the beast more than the creator. Let's see. Romans chapter 1, verse 25, Bible Hub. It's not the parable I was looking for. Who exchanged the truth of God into a lie. Oh, yeah, it is. And worshipped and served the creature, the beast, the devil, more than the creator, who is blessed forever. A spirit. I don't worship a man. Okay, I know that in Hebrew, a man is a sign of reverence to God, but I see it as a sign of reverence to men. That's what I see it as. So when I end my prayers today, I end my prayers to a spirit, because God is spirit. He is spirit and truth. John chapter 4, verse 24, Bible Hub. King James Bible over here, God is a spirit, right there. And those who worship him, like me, must worship in spirit and truth. That's what I worship. So when I end my prayers, when I'm in reverence to my Creator, the Supreme, Most High, the Almighty, the all you can see, all you cannot see, I end my prayers in a spirit. I call on you, the Supreme Creator, to guide me, to lift me, protect me, lead me in everything that I do, so that I can walk a righteous path. I ask all these things in your almighty presence. I don't ask for anything in the name of any God on this plane of existence, because the truth is, none of us know. The Bible plainly tells us that we're not to invoke the names of other gods. You're not to invoke the names of other gods. Names of other gods, they must not be heard on your lips. So why would I take a chance in trusting anybody on this plane of existence to tell me what the Supreme Creator's name is? Even when I say this respectfully to Israelites, you know, they got 3 different names going on: Yah, Yahweh, and Yahweh. Okay? That's the Israelite God. But I've showed you many times that God of Israel's God is God of Israel. God of Israel, along with Christos there, which is 666. God of Israel is also 666. And that, for me, causes concern. This is why when I lay down at night and I pray out, and I do every night, every morning, I pray out to the Spirit of truth. I worship in spirit and truth. I don't worship a name. I don't call on any kind of name at all, because we live in hell. Hell, hell, hell. 666. I know that some of you may think that I'm reaching on some of these, but everything is interconnected. Vatican Hill. Well, what's Vatican Hill? It's the same thing as Capitol Hill. Capitalize. Liez. Capitalize, because that's what it is. It's a capital broken system. And we just can't seem to get... Glad you guys couldn't see that one that popped up. Big old fat cellulite pig on my screen right there, man. It was nasty. So, Vatican Hill is 666. And who runs the Vatican? Pope. Pope Francis. They always have a pope. Now, who talks about MAGA? What is MAGA? MAGA is Make America Great Again, right? MAGA End Times. MAGA End Times, because this is all... They're seriously, they're laughing at all of us about MAGA. They're putting the truth right in front of our face. MAGA is 666. MAGA End Times is 666. Make America Great Again. Let's see. 7/25/1018. There you go. Make America Great Again is MAGA, which is a magus, and magus in Latin is a magician. It's a magic man. It's a witch and a warlock. So what am I saying? I'm telling you that Donald Trump is at the highest level of a 5th degree. We've all been taught that there's only 33 degree Masons. Oh, 33 degrees. Okay? And Donald Trump, who is a magus, is a 5th degree. And MAGA End Times is 666. This is how come when I type in peace on earth, you're never going to find peace on this earth. Why? Because a God created things evil. One God allowed them. What are they? They're archons. And it's magic. Archon's magic is 666 because they've cast spells over us. Please, you must understand that this plane of existence is all of evil. Those people that are in power, like what? Senators. Senators are 666. So I'm putting all this together for people to understand, and they don't want to listen to the truth about what's going on. Now, I found one today that was kind of, it's offset from everything that we've learned. But why Bobby Fischer? Because Bobby Fischer was known at the end of his life. Number one, I don't know if you know what Bobby Fischer is, but Bobby Fischer was the greatest chess player that ever lived. He couldn't be defeated. Okay? In a match, he's undefeated. Yes, he had lost a few games in his life, but in matches, he'd always pull out the match. Always, every time. So, Bobby Fischer, the greatest chess player ever lived, was also known for killing his wife and children by cutting a gas line inside of the house and burning his family, and then he disappeared. Also, this god here, Satoshi, is 666. And let's show you. Because I don't know a lot of these gods. I just start reading about these gods and stuff. And Tashi. I think that's how it was spelt. Satoshi. Okay, and I just showed you Satoshi is what? Is the pseudonym used by a person for a group that created Bitcoin. Okay, and some crypto. You have crypto in the word cryptocurrency. Crypt is death, telling you that the American dollar has died. Another one that I found interesting here is not Epstein Island, which would have been a great 666, but a giant island. And when I read that, I associated that with Epstein Island, a giant island. Okay, and I mentioned to you guys earlier a capitalist, because a capitalist capital lies. Look at the word, a pit of lies. Capital lies. So, and then one of the favorite things that people like to ask is they're always saying, give me a sign. Show me a miracle. Spelt that wrong. Give me a sigh. Give me a sign. We need a sign. Folks, you are the sign. You are the miracle. Life is the miracle. Everything that is given to us on this plane of existence is the miracle. So when we start calculating all of these things, and I ask, I am Emmanuel. Hold on, Emmanuel. I am Emmanuel. And an angel came upon Joseph. And an angel came upon Joseph and said that you shall have a son and call him Emmanuel. Emmanuel, behold, the virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel. I am Emmanuel is 666. Hey, brother, what's going on, Master TV? Long time no see. I'm glad you could join me. I've just went over a gang load of new 666s. I spend a lot of time in this gematria calculator today. So a game script. A game script is 666. Well, why would I say that, a game script? DeGarmo and Key 666. Because of right here. Right there, game program. Loading game program. So we live in a game program. As it tells us, I'll show you once again, proven in the Bible. I'm not saying it. The Bible's telling us. I'd like to read your comments, bro, but I can see you're making some comments. I thank you for them and everything, but the way that my smartphone's read, I don't have a regular device that this thing sets up on. I got a makeshift thing, and it blocks half the comments. So I'm not capable of seeing anything that you're reading. Those are the words of the prophet. I'm moving this out of the way right now. That's not 666. It's the number of the Gentile man, brother. That's the name of that's not 666. Which one would you saying is not 666? You just came in, game script. I don't know which one you're talking about. I've read off a bunch of different ones. I don't know where you're at in the video. You could be starting from the beginning or something. I don't know. So I want to throw it out there real quick. You might not be with me right here, right now. But anyways, as I said, lest Satan should get an advantage over us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. These are the devices, and that's what they're talking about here when he says we're loading a game program. So also here, can even change the weather and do things you won't believe. I got signs and wonders in my bag. Notice when he says that, bag. Look, right now she's in darkness. All right, and then the minute he says bag of tricks, they light the woman up. So this plane of existence, women have been quite easily able to manipulate. Just means God is with us. Oh, Emmanuel, the one that I just shared. Okay. Let's see. I am Emmanuel was 666 in English gematria is what it came out to be. Emmanuel is not the same, I don't believe, as Jesus. They're just, I would probably say Emmanuel would be more like Yeshua, not Jesus. Jesus is the white lie, Jesus Christ crucified on the cross. We both know who study the Bible that Jesus didn't die on a cross. Jesus was hung on a tree, and Jesus didn't die. Isaiah 53 tells us that plainly here. Isaiah chapter 53. Yeshua, I would say, or even Emmanuel, which is kind of funny, is, the angel come to Joseph and said that you'll call him Emmanuel. The question I like to ask people is why if the angel said that we're to call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us, why does the whole world change Emmanuel to Jesus? It makes no sense at all. And then we have here, I'm going to read from 8 down to 10. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. This is Jesus they're talking about. Yet who of his generations protested? For he was cut off from the land of the living. Jesus was cut off from the land of the living. Okay, for the transgressions of my people, he was punished. Well, this is the white lie, the transgressions of whose people? Because we know that Jesus was sent to Israel. Jesus wasn't sent to the Gentile, and I can prove that as well. He, Jesus, for the transgressions of my people, Jesus was assigned a grave with the wicked and the rich in his death. So that's off right there. Though he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth, yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life an offering for a sin, we know that that isn't correct, that is a lie, that the Lord didn't make Jesus's life an offering for sin. Jesus, it says here, will see his offspring, prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hands. So Jesus had children, seeing his offspring. Prolonged days means that Jesus didn't die on that cross at the age of 33, which 3 plus 3 is 6. And the will of the Lord will prosper. Jesus went on to live a prosperous life as well. That is a stumbling block. He wasn't lynched. He was hung up on a tree or sustained. A cross is 2 pieces of a tree. A cross is 2 pieces of a tree. Jesus doesn't appear until after the Old Testament. Right, I agree with that. Jesus was supposed to be king from Judah. Well, do you believe that? Do you believe that Jesus was supposed to be king from Judah? I know, because here, I know that he comes from that. Images of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. They've changed it on me. Well, there's a picture that shows the Shem race, right? And Jesus was from the Shemitic race. And it shows Jesus, well, I should say Yeshua, not Jesus. I'm speaking improperly when I say that. He didn't like Gentiles. No, absolutely, he did not. He did not like Gentiles at all. He plainly said, do not go into the cities or the towns of the Samaritans. Do not go into the cities or towns of Samaritans. This is Yeshua. Jesus instructed his disciples to go nowhere among the Gentiles and enter no town of the Samaritans. So yeah, I agree with you on that, brother. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you on that. So, also, earlier you missed it, that book of John also comes to 666, a game script. Here's one that I think you might like. Foe of Israel. Well, who's the foe of Israel, right? The Gentile. Gentile are foes of Israel. So, in the Gentile are what? They're the corporation. And I showed this one here earlier too, that Jesus in the Old Testament is known as the olive tree. In the olive tree comes the 666 in gematria as well. This is why these connections, this is why it takes wisdom to understand 666, because Christos, when you start tying all these sayings in Revelations 22 or 1:18, Jesus holds in his hand 7 stars and a double-edged sword comes from his mouth, and he holds a key. And I hold the keys. He says, I hold the keys to death and Hades. Jesus holds a key. Hold the key is holding a key. Jesus is holding a key. That's 666. So this is all tying Jesus, the white lie. I need people to understand that there's a Jesus, a historical figure, Yeshua, or Emmanuel, you could call him, even though nobody calls him Emmanuel, and I don't understand why they don't do that when the Bible says that you shall call him Emmanuel, and not a person on the earth is giving reverence to Emmanuel. Rather, they're giving reverence to Yeshua or Jesus. So that's kind of off as well. Jesus is the one who's holding a key. And Anunnaki, God, because the Anunnaki are also of 666. They're the fallen angels. Anunnaki are the fallen angels. And another one I think that's important for people to know is because this ties in with the LBGTQ&A, and a drag queen is 666. I think that's important for people to know as well. Okay, and let's see. I showed earlier that Vatican Hill is 666, and also it shouldn't be no surprise that Adolf A. Hitler is 666. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And then when you remove the vowels from Donald Trump's name, Donald Trump's vowels removed from his name, like Yahweh's vowels are removed from his name, Donald J. Trump comes to 666. Now this is incredible information that I'm sharing with people. Okay? And if you change phone to FON, and there are smartphones that are spelt just like this, a company that's spelt smartphone like that, FONE, a smartphone is 666. So all of these things are done, again, by magic. Okay, these devices, the computer is 666. A computer is a device, and a device, lest Satan should get an advantage over us, we're not ignorant of his laptops. We're not ignorant of CERN. Images of CERN. We're not ignorant of CERN. This is a device. These are the devices that they use. Also here, I should probably write this one down too because I use it quite often. So let's Mickey inverted is 666. Right there. That's Jesus coming out of a CERN machine. Okay? That's a device. Also, look at what they're doing here. Jesus appears to be of color in this picture, and he's throwing devil horns right there. Jesus is throwing devil horns on that picture. And if you look very closely here, look at that device right there. I'm going to show you what it is. Tron gets trapped in the game grid.
Remember the time we used to spend playing chess together?
I got 2 strikes, so I got to be careful here.
Stop. Please.
Right there.
Allow this.
That's the same thing that Jesus is coming out of.
Please.
Look at that. Look at that. That is CERN, folks. And this movie was freaking, I don't know, 43 years ago they did this movie. 43 years ago they did this movie. I'm going to show it to you one more time. Also, this is Jesus, what? Coming out of a portal, ripping through the veil. It's right here. Right there, man. It's the exact same thing. That's what Jesus is coming out of. That's CERN. Because what are they telling us? They're telling us that CERN is a time traveling machine. So CERN is a device that uses to travel through time to break these portals that are showing you plainly that this is Jesus. Look, he appears black in this picture. Now this picture is depicted from 4,500 years ago, maybe even longer. Who knows? All right? But clearly, that's Jesus giving you devil horns. So, when I show you, I closed, it's right here. That's the same thing that Jesus is coming out of. It's right there in front of our faces, folks. So when you guys are asking for signs, give me a sign, I'm giving you a sign. I'm sharing information with you. I'm giving you insight, and I'm giving you wisdom, and I'm showing you how the game script works. And I'm telling you that the book of John is 666. I'm telling you that peace on earth is 666. To be patriotic, why would you think patriotic is 666? Because you are voting for a man. You're voting for a man. You think that you're a patriot, and what you really are doing is you're part of the hive. Now, a lot of you don't even know it, but those people that have symbolized tattoos on their bodies, they know what they are. Okay, they're in a secret society. They're in the John Wick secret society, and they know exactly what they are. There's no question about that. So when I show you information like this, and I bring you pictures, and I correlate the scriptures with pictures, and I show you depictions, and I bring you insight. It takes wisdom to understand this insight that I'm teaching of you. So it's very important to acknowledge the information that has been shared with you. I'm grabbing another list here of 666 because I've been busy. Now, I showed earlier, welcome whoever come in the side of the room. I got 2 listeners in here now. Andrew Tate was what? Is 666. Well, why do I bring up Andrew Tate? Because Candace Owen loves Andrew Tate, stands up for Andrew Tate, took Andrew Tate's side. Andrew Tate was busted in Romania for sex trafficking. Then he got out, he fought it, and then he come here in America, and now he's been busted again a second time for sex trafficking. And he tells you he ratted himself off online by telling you, because he was a UFC fighter and he was trying to make some quick money because he was always broke. Well, how did he do it? Because he was a UFC fighter. He had all these babes, all these women that hang on the arms of people who are fighters and stuff. Women like men who are fighters. They like to know a strong man that can kick people's ass. It turns them on. So Andrew Tate was that. So he used to have numerous amounts of girls, and he tells you online with his own words that he used his girlfriends and turned them out to do videos online, and that they were making him bank more money than he could ever imagine by them. He put the money up front for the computers. He put the money up for the websites. He set them up, and they started making money. And that is sex trafficking, folks. I don't care how you look at it. And people in this world love that bald-headed fuck. Excuse my language, but that's what he is. He's a rotten piece of shit. Now, I'm not even going to say this, but I'm going to tap it in, because if I say it, they'll shut my channel down. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. Right there. You see that? That's bad news, right? Is it 2 C's? I believe it's 2 C's. There you go. So these, I got to dance around this. I can't really use words at all, man, because they are on my ass when I talk about what came out in the year 2019. Okay? And I might add that my mother's husband had cancer and was dying in the hospital, and they wouldn't allow her in the hospital unless she took one of these. And then when my mother took one of those, 2 months later, she died from it. She got pneumonia, was hospitalized for a month, and I didn't find out until a month later. My mother didn't even call me and let me know that she was in the hospital. And she ended up dying inside the hospital 2 months later after taking that. So when you take that, also, you got to understand that that information is that's what it was, folks. Let me see. Let me look at my notes here. Oh, when you take that, you receive the mark. Oh my God, did I type it wrong again? Receive a mark. So when you take one of those that I just showed you, you receive a mark of nanotechnology, because that's what it is. They put all kinds of stuff inside of these Barney Flintstone jabba dabba doos is what I would basically say. Then you have now if you came in earlier, you would have seen a president equals 666. Okay. Now, Yahweh in the Old Testament pronunciation was YHWH, and it had no vowels. I've done this earlier in the show, but I'll show you again that when you type in Donald J. Trump's name without vowels in it, that's 666. Powerful information that I'm sharing with you today. Okay, well, who's mankind's God? Mankind's God is Jesus. Mankind's God is Jesus. And see, I have tried to type Jesus in so many different ways that I can't make the connection. But when it comes to catchphrases, like Jesus is the one who's holding the keys to death and Hades, holding a key in gematria is 666. Jesus is the one that uses the computer. Jesus is the God that was created in an image of God himself. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 15, Bible Hub. So, no one can say 1 Corinthians 1:15. Hold on, that doesn't sound right. It's 1 Colossians. My bust. First Colossians 1:15 Bible Hub. So here tells us plainly that the Son, Jesus, is the image. For the Son, Jesus Christ, is the image. So this God here, so God, right? Jesus is a God. Jesus is the God that created man in his own image. Now, one of my dear friends who listens to me quite often, Gravy Train, and she points out to me that I am giving way too much power to the devil when I say that the devil created mankind. But I just simply go by the scriptures, folks. I use the scriptures. The scriptures are what I use, and that's what I back my arguments up with. So in this case here, Jesus, God, created man in his own image, because you have one God. Exodus chapter 20, verse 4, Bible Hub. That says, "You shall not make any idol in the form of anything in heaven above, the earth below, or the waters beneath." Well, that doesn't say image, but we know that it's an image because when we come over here, the NIV tells you shall not make for yourself an image. So an idol is an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or the earth beneath, or the waters below. That's your connection. So this God here, who creates man in his own image, created himself. This God created man in an image of himself, right there. I'm not saying it. This is the Strong's Concordance. You guys can read into it however you want, my interpretation of what I am reading, that this God here, Elohim, is something that is specifically used of a supreme God. There's something above this God, and that confirms here. Revelations chapter 13, verse 15, Bible Hub. It's confirmed right here that the second beast was permitted to give breath to the image. There's the image of the first beast. The first beast is that man that created, that God that created man in his own image, so that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship it to be killed. That is this God right here. This God Elohim created man in his own image, and in the image of God, Elohim, say it with me, Elohim, he created him, say it with me, properly self. God Elohim created himself, a man in an image, both male and female. And then this is why you have problems with these. LBGTQ&A marching through the streets saying we're here, queer, coming for your children. You see, these people here are all dressed up in what do you call them? You call them drag queens, right? These are drag queens. Drag queens are 666. So we got to teach our children that this kind of behavior, and they're trying to normalize it. All right? They're trying to normalize it with these devices. They try to normalize it in television scripts, in comedies, in sitcoms, in every facet of television in Hollywood today. They have some kind of gay person inside their programming. All right? They're trying to make it acceptable to you by pushing it in your face over and over. Revelations chapter 21, verse 8, Bible Hub. Don't forget to smash that like button. Okay, the Bible, not me. The Bible is telling us, but to the cowardly and the unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and the sexually immoral, okay, sexually immoral are these right here. Look at this woman with painted tassels on her titties. So they're screaming, we're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children, we're here, we're queer, we're not going shopping. But they are going shopping. Who are they going shopping for? They're shopping for your children. Well, good. You can't see the little wench on her, but she's got nothing on her. She's got her shirt wide open. She's got her titties painted with paint or something on them and marching through the streets. It's this woman right here with the black thing. You can see the outline of one of her breasts right there. So, folks, this is a spiritual war that's taking place. All right? So, I am being beat down all the time by entities. Well, who are the entities? They're the ones on the other side of these devices that are continually bombarding me, continually blocking my content, continually making sure that this information doesn't get out to anybody. Do you realize that 666 is the biggest find ever spoken of? And I'm the only one on this channel. And I've come across one other guy that did a little bit on 666. A lot of these people here, let's see, 666 shorts. Well, that didn't do anything for me. This is what you get.
All right, if you're seeing angel number 666, do not be scared. I know this number has always been like associated with like the devil. It's like 666, like a bad negative thing, but it's totally not. So angel number 666.
It's totally not. So this is what you call word salad, folks. Okay, you can take, and there's so many people that bite into this garbage. Okay, you have to be in the scriptures and using wisdom to figure this stuff out, man. If you're not in the scriptures and you're just running your mouth about stuff, then you are wearing blinders, because plainly, here is a call for wisdom. Let the one who has insight calculate the number of the beast. Okay? Now, what people got to understand is the beast is the beast of the field, Genesis chapter 1, verse 25, Bible Hub. God made the beast of the earth according to their kinds. Now, everybody here, anybody and everybody will tell you, oh, well, those are the animals. All right? No, I'll prove you right now that it's not. 2 Peter 2:12, Bible Hub. This is why I do everything with scriptures, folks. I'm going to come over here to the King James Bible for you. King James Bible says, but these as natural brute beasts are made to be taken and destroyed. And this is where I prove it right here. Speak. What beast on the earth speaks evil of things they do not understand, which is God? The beasts speak about things they do not understand, which is God. They don't understand God. And the beast shall utterly perish in their own corruption. That proves my point exactly, that the beast of the field here the livestock and the beast are two. The beast are the wild animals that live in the cities, not the livestock that live out in the wild animal kingdom. Okay? So when you're calculating these numbers and you're putting them into the gematria calculator, and you understand that New York is the most populated city in America, and New York is 666. I, by the grace of the Supreme Creator, not me, no glory to me, nothing, I don't want any of it. I don't want any glory at all. All what I've learned comes from the spiritual mind of the Creator. The spiritual mind of the Creator is the one that puts truth on us by those that seek the Spirit alone. Spirit and truth. You worship the Spirit and truth. When you're in prayer, you're worshiping the Spirit and truth. You're asking for the truth to be upon you. So those in New York are the dead. The Book of the Dead is 666. That is another Bible out book. Okay? And these people here, they feed off the soul, and that is dinner time. Dinner time is 666. I showed earlier in the show that Donald J. Trump without his vowels in it is 666. And where are we at right now? A new age begins. A new age begins is 666. Okay, and who is the beginning? Jesus tells you he's the beginning. I am the beginning, the end, the first and the last. Jesus is the one that's telling us. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning. Jesus is the beginning. What's the beginning? The beginning is the start. The beginning is the new age begins. The beginning is the start. So these, it doesn't say directly that Jesus is 666, but when you start making these connections that Jesus is the beginning is the start is 666. Jesus holds the keys to death in Hades, holding a key in gematria is 666. Jesus is the beginning is time. Time is made up of 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours. 2 plus 4 is 6. That is 666. Jesus is the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. When you add the total sum of the Word, it comes to 60. Word comes to 60. 6 plus 0 is 6, and the Word said 3 times is 666. The parable calls for wisdom. The parable calls for insight, and it takes calculation to number of the beast, for it's the number of a man. The number of the man is Jesus Christ crucified. Okay, everything all day long points to Jesus Christ is 666 in this parable. I have made the connections over and over and over. I have read the connections. I've showed you the connections. I'm bringing you everything, and I'm showing it to you that prove that this plane of existence is a complete total system of 666, which is an illusion. An illusion is 666. Again, this ties in with Jesus. Where are you at? I got a lot of windows open here again. This God that created man in his own image, okay, looking at it again, an image is an illusion. Folks, this plane of existence that we live on, you and I and your mother and your aunts and your uncles, your brothers, everybody that you love, everybody that is, we are spirits. Okay, spirits that have been trapped inside of a flesh suit. That's my cat. Hold on, guys. I gotta let my cat out, man. Come on. Come on. Out. I'm gonna throw up on my floor, man. Can't have that. Okay, so the Assyrian. I don't know if this is the one that I was looking for, but the Assyrian is Satan. A cedar. Look at the Assyrian. Let's jump over here to the King James. Behold the Assyrian. Behold, Satan was a cedar. A cedar is a tree. Satan is the tree of knowledge of good and evil, with fair branches, light skin. Satan was a tree of knowledge with light skin and a shadowing shroud. What's the shadowing shroud? The shadowing shroud is our skin suit, folks. When we're born into this plane of existence, what do they tell us? we're born into death. If you're born into death, then we are the walking dead. And that's what they did in Hollywood. They made a movie mocking Christians because you can't figure this out, that we are the walking dead. This is why, let's see, I might have closed the window already. Right there. This is why this aircraft is called an AC-130J Ghost Rider. Right in plain sight. Dictionary.com. I know this hurts people, but it's better for you to understand what we are so that you and I and all of us alike can repent for our transgressions against the Supreme Creator. So a ghost over here is the spirit of the dead. Because when we're born into this plane of existence, you're born into death. It's the first death. And a ghost, again, is a demon, a devil, and a phantom. And what's the shadow? Our skin suit. The shadowing shroud, our skin suit. So a ghost is what ties us in to Jesus as well, because in Mark 15:37, Jesus cries out with a loud voice and gives up his ghost. As we're taught, as we're told. Now, some Christians will argue with you and say, well, yeah, he's giving up the ghost because he's giving up death so that he can step into life. Because you can't get into the kingdom of heaven as a ghost. But I would argue that we have right here a vampire. Okay? And a vampire's definition, again, all the same, which is a bloodsucker, a demon, a ghost, a phantasm, a phantasma, and a visitant. But it's a bloodsucker. And John 6:56 Bible Hub. Sorry, folks, man. I'm sorry to break it to you, but Jesus is the devil, man. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains in me and I in him. Whoever eats my flesh, okay? For my flesh is real food, Jesus says, and my blood is real drink. Whoever eats of it remains in me and I in him. This is why they use the cross in vampire movies all the time and equate that with Hollywood, because the cross is death. The cross is the cross road. When you wear a chain around your neck with that cross, you are chained to this reality for eternity. Okay, that cross means death, folks. Doesn't mean life. Jesus holds the keys to death in Hades. He doesn't hold the keys to life in Hades. Why doesn't he hold the keys to life in Hades? He's God Almighty, as we're taught. Then he should have both the keys to life and the keys to death. But Jesus only holds the keys to life. Romans chapter 14, verse 9, Bible Hub. For this reason, Christ died and returned to life, that he might, not that he will be, not that he's gonna be, not that he professes to be, not that he absolutely will be, but that he might be the Lord of both the dead and the living. Hold on. Then that means that Jesus wants to mix the dead with the living. Matthew chapter 10, verse 32, Bible Hub. Children of men, I shall confess him also before the Father in heaven. Let me ask you a question as a Christian. We know that the God of Israel is called Yahweh in the Old Testament. What is the Father's name? Jesus' Father's name. Can anybody answer that? Hell to the no. Nobody can answer that. Nobody can answer that. No one can tell you the Holy Spirit's name. No one can tell you the Father's name. But yet they've given you a name, and that name is Jesus. Now I lost. Oh, no, now I'm back at it again. I think if it's not Matthew, then it's John 10:32. John chapter 10, verse 32, Bible Hub. John chapter 10, verse 32, Bible Hub. Looks like I'm wrong again. It might be 34. It might be Matthew 10:34 or John 10:34. We are not stoning you for your good works, said the Jews, but for blasphemy, because you, who are a man, declare yourself as God. Well, Jesus said we're all gods. I probably would agree with Jesus on that, because we're all eternal beings, but that's not the one that I'm looking for. It's got to be Matthew then 10:34, but I'm just going to call it out. I am the God of Abraham, I am the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob. I am not the God of the dead. Oh, it's 22:32. So I was off. I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He's not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. So the supreme creator isn't going to be mixing those that are dead. He's not going to mix a pedophile, a rapist, a murderer with somebody who's trying to walk a righteous life, professes their love for the supreme creator, the Almighty, the Most High, kneels down, admits their transgressions against the Most High, loves the Most High, calls on the Most High, calls on the truth, walks in the truth, tries to share the truth, and totally devoted to the spirit of the living, and then turn around and mix a murderer and a rapist and a pedophile with those that are trying to walk a righteous life. Listen, if that's what Jesus is about, I would never worship him anyways. There's just no way that I'd worship a God that wants to mix those that are evil with those that are good. It's that simple. I'm not going to do it. You guys can do whatever it is that you choose to do. I've clearly busted Jesus's ass as 666. There's not a person on the... This is why I don't get people debating with me. This is why I can go into Christian rooms and I can post this kind of content and they'll take it down. Why? This is supposed to be America. The very first commandment is freedom of speech, folks. The parameters of the first commandment are the right to gather, the freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and freedom of speech. So if I go into another forum, I go into a Christian platform, I go on to somebody else's channel, and I share... Let's listen to this girl here again.
When you see this, when you see it like popping up everywhere, it is an angel message that you need to stop focusing on material objects. Also, kind of like focusing too much on money, on like analytics, on numbers. It's like a friendly reminder to be like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. I'm working on everything in the background. Like, you don't need to worry about money right now. Everything's gonna be fine. So next time you see 666, take a breath, take it easy, and know that you don't have to worry about material objects at this moment. Follow.
So this is the atrocities that are spoken. This is called word salad. All right?
One of the theories about why Hobby Lobby refuses to use any barcodes is the conspiracy that every barcode contains a hidden 666. So every barcode is really just communicating two things, a manufacturer code and a product code. And those two numbers are always bookended by a spacer symbol, here, and here, two vertical lines with a single space between them. And because the barcode for the number 6 also kind of is just two vertical lines with a space between it, conspiracy theories in the 80s really latched onto the idea that every barcode has a hidden 666.
See, folks, what the difference between me and all these other folks here is I break it out with scriptures.
Okay, this is getting weird. You good, bro? I keep noticing the number 666 everywhere I go.
Devil spawn, devil spawn.
Hey, is 666 actually a demonic number? I'm just messing with you, man. The truth is, Western society are demonizing a powerful angel number. And once I tell you the meaning, you'll understand why. Oh my god, what does it mean? Your guardian angels have been trying to tell you to refocus your thoughts. 666 is a strong reminder that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So stop worrying about earthly possessions like money or clothes. I promise you those things will come in due time, but you need to get this right first. Why would we demonize such a powerful sign? It's almost as if they didn't want us to know. Well, Jay Kaiser's bringing it to light, baby. I still need to follow him. Okay.
So, these people here, this is all word salad. Ain't anybody going to get into the scriptures and break this stuff down with scriptures. You got to get into the scriptures to be able to figure this stuff out. Without the scriptures, then you're just jacking your jaw, running your mouth, and you're not learning the true signs of what 666 is. Okay? It takes wisdom, folks. You got to get into this gematria calculator. An image of Satan is 666. So when I tell you that Jesus, when I show you in Colossians, where it says, for the Son, Jesus Christ, is the image of the invisible God, I'm telling you that Jesus is the image. Jesus is the one that created himself in an image. Jesus is the God that was permitted to create himself in an image. Jesus is the image of God. And then you have God saying, look, don't worship any images, because images are what? They're idols. All of us, everything on this plane of existence, you, me, your mothers, your aunts, your brothers, cousins, nieces, everybody that exists in the flesh, we are the idols. The Spirit, the Supreme Spirit of Truth, doesn't want us worshiping each other, okay? It's all right to love. It's all right to be kind, tender, and all of these things, but it's not all right to worship one another. It's not all right to worship Santa Claus, because Santa Claus is 666. Uh-oh. Huh. I've done that before, and it's always been 666. Now it's not. Let's see. That one really blew me away there. Okay, let's see. I added the E. Santa Claus. Let's see. Who is Santa Claus? Okay, I spelt it with an E. So Santa Claus is proper in gematria. That is 666. Santa Claus is 666 in gematria. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 3. For the customs of the people are worthless. They cut down a tree from the forest, a Christmas tree. It is shaped with the chisel by the hands of a craftsman. Let's do two of them on this. I should have probably just pulled up the book. I should have pulled up the whole chapter. They adorn it with silver and gold and fasten it with a hammer and nails. That's the cross that they place on the bottom of it so that it will not totter. Like scarecrows in a cucumber patch, their idols cannot speak. Jesus can't speak. He's an idol on a cross in a church. They must be carried because they cannot walk. Do not fear them, for they cannot do harm, and neither can they do any good. We are spiritual beings, folks. And mankind are the dead. And mankind wants you to worship them. They want you to vote them into office. They want you to give them your power, the very power that Jesus said to us. Is it not written in your law that I have said ye are gods? Jesus replied, is it not written in your law, I have said ye are gods? When does Jesus say this? 82:6 in a cross reference of Psalm says, I have said you are gods, you are all sons of the Most High. Now understand that this is Yeshua, or I should say maybe Emmanuel, and that's another big question to ask your Christian ministers too, is if an angel came to Joseph and said that your wife shall bear a child and you shall call him Emmanuel, then why is the world calling him Jesus? Wouldn't it be proper to be calling him Emmanuel if it means that God is with us? How did we get to this change? Because Jesus is the God of the dead. But when did Jesus tell us that we are gods? Huh? When did he say it? Genesis chapter 3, verse 5, Bible Hub. He said it when he came into the garden. You will not surely die, the serpent, Jesus told her. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. If we pop over here to the King James Bible, tells us, for God doth know in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened and ye shall be as gods. Jesus said that we shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. You see, God, you got to ask yourself also, why didn't God want Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Why? Give me 1 second here. My thing's falling forward again. It's a suitable question. It's a proper question to ask. Why did the Supreme Spirit of Truth not want his children eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? I need you to understand here, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, Bible Hub. You're not going to get this from Christian ministers because they float right through this and they don't make this connection for you. But this one here, then the Lord, this is Yahweh. Yahweh is the proper name of God of Israel from Hayah. And this is why the Indians, the Native Americans of this country used to say, Hayah, Hayah, Hayah. That's right, you heard me. So, the Lord, self-existing, eternal. You understand? Jesus had a beginning. Jesus had an end. Jesus is the beginning. Jesus is the firstborn. Jesus is the firstborn. Woo, do I got a lot of windows open, folks. Give me a second here. Right there. The Son is the image of the invisible God, firstborn. Jesus is born over all creation. Jesus is the firstborn over all creation. The firstborn over all creation is that man that was created on the sixth day of creation in an image of God. And Jesus is the image of God. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, Bible Hub. For unto us a child is born. This is Emmanuel. This is Yeshua, born in a manger. Okay? Unto us a son is given, is the star God, Jesus Christ superstar. Revelations chapter 12, verse 1. Revelations chapter 12, verse 1, Bible Hub. And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun worship, with the moon under her feet, moon worship, and a crown of 12 stars on her head, star worship. 12 disciples, 12 stars. On her head she is pregnant and crying out in pain and agony of giving birth. This is the star God. If we drop down here, Revelations 12:4. His tail, because Jesus is the dragon, his tail swept a third of the stars from the sky, tossing them to the earth. Who are your stars? Hollywood stars, porn stars, generals who wear stars, political stars, rock stars, and all of you that are star worshipers. This is why God says not to worship anything other than the Spirit. Because look, we are all gods, equal as one. But the minute you vote for mankind dead to rule over you, you lose the very power that Jesus was talking about. Let me show you. Trying to think of this parable here. Definitely don't know what book and chapter it is. But Jesus said that you shall do even greater things than me, for I am going to the Father. Truly, truly, I tell you, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I am doing. He will do even greater things than these. We can do greater things than Jesus, who's God, the Creator. We can. Because I'm going to the Father. And I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. Well, that's horse crap. Okay? God is glorified in everything. Look, right here. The heavens of heavens of heavens cannot contain God. But will God indeed dwell upon the earth? Even heaven, the highest heavens, cannot contain you, much less this temple I have built. Well, that's a very, very clear sign straight in our face that tells us that if the heavens of heavens cannot contain God, how can one simple-minded little body contain God? No, God is within the construct of everything that exists. He is the visible and the invisible. He is the all-knowing. He is the supreme. Well, for me to even say he could possibly be improper. God is not a man that he should lie. So when I say he, if God is not a man, then I'm equating the Spirit to a man. And the Spirit is just that, it's spirit. And God is not a man that he should lie, or the Son of Man, or Jesus. God is not a man that he should lie, or the Son, Jesus Christ, a man that he should change his mind. Does the Supreme Spirit not speak and not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? Well, why would I say that Jesus changes his mind? John chapter 5, verse 31, Bible Hub. Right here. If I testify about myself, Jesus says, my testimony is not valid. And this is true. There's another who testifies about me, and I know that his testimony about me is valid. John chapter 8, verse 14, Bible Hub. Here Jesus is again. Jesus replied, even if I testify about myself, my testimony is valid. Oh, wait a minute, damn it. Woohoo! I got so many windows open, man. Starting to slow down my computer now. If I testify about myself, my testimony is valid. Let me shut some of this down, please. Give me a second. Come on, baby. Wow. Wow. See, as I get more windows closed, it speeds up a little bit more. Starts closing them a little faster. Might need that a little bit later. CERN, I showed you earlier in this show here. This is a big one too. Jesus wants you to eat his flesh and drink his blood. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains in me, and I in him. Come on. I should probably close these windows up as I go through the show, because it really does start when I have 20 or 30 windows open. It's just lags on my laptop here. All right, so what I was getting to here, just a few more windows to close. Come on, baby. One more window after this one and we'll be good to go. Okay, so Jesus here is telling you there's another that testifies about me, and I know that his testimony is valid. All right. He's also confirming Jesus is telling you himself that he can't testify about himself. There's nothing that Jesus can do to testify about himself. It takes two witnesses. Clearly, as it says here, if I testify about myself, my testimony is valid because I know where I came from, Jesus says, and I know where I'm going, Jesus says, but you do not know where I came from or where I'm going, because everybody believes that Jesus ascended to heaven. All right? But Jesus didn't go to heaven, did he? Where did he go? He went to hell, because he took on all the sins of the world, as we're taught, for our sins and transgressions. Hold on, let me explain something to you. Do you realize how evil something would become inside of a flesh suit if it took on all the sins of the world? Could you imagine the outpour on that flesh, on that being, on that entity, it would become completely rootless. A murderer, a rapist, a pedo, it would become all of it. And Jesus went to hell and defeated life, as we're taught, right? Strong's Concordance, chapter 20. Oops, hold on. Number for Jesus in the Strong's Concordance, 2424. Okay, Jesus' name, which is transliterated as Iesos. Okay, so the Greeks called Jesus Iesos. The translation from Greek to Latin was Christos, and then from Latin to English came Christ. So Iesos would be the proper name in Greek, and then 2424 is Jesus's number. If you break this down to two numbers, 2 plus 4 is 6, and 2 plus 4 is 6. Again, that's 66. Jesus is the one that's created on the 6th day. That is 666. So let's pull up another one for Jesus's number here. Strong's Concordance, number 66. Refers to the word Abel Yam. It's not the one I'm looking at right here. In the Greek concordance, agrios, which is angry, 66 means living in the fields. Over here, living in the fields, as in a wild and savage and fierce. Jesus' number in Greek, 2424, breaks down to 66. 66 is wild, savage, and furious. Number 12, 66 breaks down to 12. Strong Concordance, number 12. Abden. Abden is number 12, and the definition for Abden is destruction. Jesus' number breaks down to destruction, breaks down to Iesos. It breaks down to living in the fields, as in wild and savage and fierce. And then when you break Abden down, the number 12 down to a 3, Strong's Concordance, number 3. Is Abaddon, which means a bad dawn. A bad dawn brings us all the way back here to the Gematria calculator. Donald Trump, J. Trump, without the vowels in it, like Yahweh without the vowels in it, comes to 666. Woo-wee! I am so, well, all praise and glory to the Master of the universe, the Supreme Creator, the Most High, for His glory only, that He has given me this wisdom to share with others like you. I don't know who's come in the room and been listening to me for about the last 45 minutes to an hour. Very grateful for your time. Smash the like button if you would. I'd really be grateful to that. And if you'd even like to, go ahead and leave a comment. You know, you can thank me for the work that I bring to you, because this information doesn't come free. It comes with a price. It's called dedication and showing myself approved. Show yourself approved. Make every effort to present yourself approved to God, an unshamed workman who accurately handles the word of truth. Folks, this is why I've been doing this for 4 years. I've literally had thousands and thousands of subscribers. They come into my room and then they hear this information and they flee. Why? Because those that's like, when that woman, you remember Sonia Massey? Sonia Massey execution. The Sonia Massey execution. Oh, they don't even want me to use that. I'll try it one more time. Sonia Massey execution.
Stack right there, maybe. We don't need a fire while we're here.
Okay, so that there within itself is a line of shit. Number one, boiling water on a stove is not going to start a fire. Okay, that thing will sit there and burn until there's no water left in the pot and dehydrate, but it's not going to start a fire. But listen to what she says. Okay, so number one, there's no reason at all for her to even pick up that water. All she had to do was go over there and turn off that burner and walk away. See, I believe that this was staged, and there's a lot of controversy that's taken place around this thing. Also in one of my shorts that I'll show you as well. But watch. Oh, he's moving away from her hot, steamy water. Where are you going? Doesn't that all sound kind of wishy-washy? I mean, it does to me. I mean, the scales are off my eyes. None of that makes sense at all to me. It makes no sense at all to me why she... No sense... it looks like... I don't know what happened, man. Something just popped up, man. Something just popped up about my live. I don't know if somebody's getting ready to blast me or something, man. Ready to shut down my channel. I have 2 strikes. I have two community copyright strikes, and right now I also have a guideline strike. So, and they won't remove my copyright strike. So if I play something that's out of line, they could shut this channel down. Which, by the way, if you're interested, you can always go over to my other channel. That's White Raptor News Media, and subscribe to that channel. I'd be grateful as well. I don't do a lot of work on that channel. This is my main channel, but that's just a backup channel. So the cop just said to her that he's moving away because she's got this pot of water. Now listen to what she says. Oh my God. She rebukes these cops in the name of Jesus. This is a straight truth bomb right in your face, man. The Bible tells us that when you rebuke demons in the name of Jesus, they will flee from you. These cops, clearly, I think it's just a show. I don't believe any of it happened. Okay, so that's the end of that. Now, also, we're told that they run a few rounds and they shoot her in the head 3 times. Listen, if somebody was shot in their head 3 times, you would have seen brain matter and everything splat against this back white wall here. You would have seen it all over the floor, all over here. You would have seen it on the white refrigerator up here. It would have splattered everywhere. These people shoot with 38 specials, man. Her head would have exploded everywhere. Not to be so graphic or anything, but it is what it is. All right, folks, I know that I haven't done any work for the last 3 or 4 days. I've been busy doing other things. You know, also I've been under attack, you know, and I have to stay in prayer all the time because these entities, these demons from behind these CEOs of YouTube and CEOs of Facebook, they use this information. I don't know if you've realized it or not, but how many times have you sat and you thought about something, you know, and then you look on the computer and boom, a window pops up, or you're thinking about buying something. You don't even say it out loud. You're just thinking about it because these devices have learned how to read through the eyes, to the cerebral cortex. They're capable of literally reading your minds today with this technology. And I don't care if anybody believes me or not. It is what it is. I give all praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, To the 2 listeners that have been in here with me for the last hour, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. You've been in here for a while listening. I've given a lot of hard work and effort into this lesson, and I hope you enjoy it. Much love, peace, light, grace, all to turn to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living one. This is White Raptor News Ministries.